are dealing with here. So I just want to let you know kind of the process of how I tap into. So if you're here live on the call and you're like, I came because I need something today, go ahead and hold that thought gently. Offer that to the universe, because those are the energies that I will be picking up on for the purposes of today's reading. A couple more people hanging out. We got a big group today. All right. So with all that being said, I was multitasking. I hope I said that correctly and everyone understands and we're all on the same page. And I wanted to talk about where I said I am a psychic medium, but I'm also a tarot and oracle card reader, because I got my start in spirituality as a tarot reader. What? You did? Yeah. How long ago? Oh my God, I'm so glad you asked. 5 years ago. 5 years ago, November is when I started reading for other people. So this November is a big celebration for me. I'm celebrating my 5 years as a tarot reader. November also happens to be my birthday month, so I'm also celebrating my birthday all month long. And then, as you all know, we also have those amazing commerce days that were made up for us: Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and Cyber Monday. I qualify and fall in the categories for all three of those. So I plan to have, because this is such a celebratory month for me, a year for me, the 5 year, I plan on having some really big knock your socks off Black Friday through Cyber Monday sales. So how do you get to know about all of that? Got to be on my newsletter. Newsletter people get first dibs. I sent out a newsletter on the 1st. I hope you got it. If you didn't, check through your spam, or if you're in Gmail, you might have to go to one of those other folders to see it, to find it. It has all of the specials and the events lined out for the full month of November. I will be sending you reminders throughout the month since I have so many deals and specials going on. So look to be receiving more emails than normal from me. I usually send out 1 or 2 a month. I'll probably be sending out a few as new specials come up. The special I want to talk about before we get into today's reading is a 5-day only. Can y'all see the theme I'm going with? 5. 5 in numerology is the number of challenges. I always say challenges and opportunities, but even still, that number 5 is kind of one of those prickly numbers for me until I looked a little bit deeper into it. And 5 is also the number of change and the number of transition. And I like that so much better than the idea of a challenge. So I'm saying that to say I'm going with the 5 theme, and it doesn't seem so prickly as it used to. So I've got a 5-day only. We are in this, what's today, y'all? The 3rd. We're in the 3rd day. Oh, y'all are running out of time. It's been running since November 1st. So 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and then this offer will be over. But you can get a tarot reading for me at a greatly discounted price. It is called the Stress Buster Energy Reset Session. I do a 5-card tarot spread, and then we also go in based upon what comes up for you, what might be holding you back or getting in your way or draining your energy consciously or subconsciously, based on what comes up to you and the wisdom from the tarot spread. I take that energy and I go into a personalized channeled energy session with you right there in the session. We clear your energy. We call in the energy that spirit asked or suggests that you should have. And so you get a full reset during that period, plus the wisdom from the tarot from the 5-card spread. So I'm offering that for how much? Just $55. And there are only 5 days that you can purchase that particular special reading before it goes to a different price point or possibly goes away altogether. Okay, so I wanted to let you all know about that.
Can you co-host me? Can you
Yes.
co-host me? Thank you.
Oh, that's what's happening.
That's what's happening.
Like, why are there still people in the waiting room? Because I didn't co-host you. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I mean, I can get everything now.
Okay, so let's get into the reading. Tarot first and then Oracle. Let's get settled in. Let me ask you to take a couple of deep breaths. Think about the wisdom, guidance. Maybe you have questions. What is it you would like to receive from today's session from Spirit? What is it you would like to receive from Spirit? hold that thought gently, and then I want you to imagine that you're tucking it inside a helium balloon and you're letting it go. Let it float up and away from you. And now I want you to imagine that you are moving that switch from asking into receiving so that you can openly receive the answers from Spirit that come through the cards and messages today. Thank you, everyone. I see all of you over there in the chat. Thank you, thank you. The deck that we're using today is Vice Versa Tarot. I see some new people, so I'm going to explain this deck real quickly. In this particular tarot, you have the traditional image. This would be Seven of Pentacles, someone sitting down looking at the plant. And then it's vice versa because on the back, you have a different view of the same card. It's as if you got to step into the tarot card and stand behind or around the characters and see everything else that's going on in the scene besides what we just normally see in that 2D rendering. So I like this deck a lot. And that is the tarot deck we are pulling from today. In Spirit, what wisdom do you have for the collective for today's reading? I usually have to close my eyes with this deck to make sure I'm not influenced because you can see the card from both sides. So let's see. Should I just go with the top 5 Spirit? Yep. Okay. Feel like at some point I'm going to need a clarifier, but I don't know for what. So we'll go ahead and get into it. All right. One moment. Let's do that. Okay. I pulled 4 cards. Out of the 3 cards, we have the other side, the opposite side. So just off top, what I'm getting is that Spirit wants us to take a perspective shift based upon the things that we think we know. This is before I even get into what the cards actually mean. There are some things that we think we know that have been playing, especially for those of us who might be older. I'm raising my own hand, that might have been playing in our head for a very long time, so much so that we no longer fact check it. We accept this as this is the way things are. But the world around us changes all the time. All the time. It's kind of like maybe when you go back for a driver's license test and you're like, yes, of course, I've been driving since I was 16. I know the rules of the world. But do you know? Do you? Did they change something over the last 10 years that maybe you need to freshen yourself up on? Are you seeing drivers do things and you keep looking at them like, oh my God, these drivers are so dumb. Maybe there was a new rule. Maybe it's okay for them to do what you think they're doing. Case in point, I go to Denver and I see these motorcycles and they're weaving in and out of traffic between the cars. That's always been illegal for me. That's how you get killed on a motorcycle is what I was told. And I remember mentioning that while I was with my friend in Denver and she was like, no, that's legal now. They can do that now. So Santo lives in Colorado and he's saying, no, they can't. I don't know. I heard it was legal. And then I heard that there was like, it's special situations when you can do it. But all I know is there are things in our life that we think we know that are set in our brain as no, and then something changes and maybe it's a yes now. That's what I'm seeing as I look at all of these cards where we're all looking and we're looking at the same exact message, but we're flipping it and we're looking at it from a different perspective. So Spirit wants us to sit with our beliefs, especially as we wrap up the end of the year and we think about calling in new things. And many of us are thinking about breaking patterns or starting new habits in the new year. We always do. Well, how are you going to break out of those old habits? How are you going to actually start something new? Is you have to figure out, get in there and cut the ties to whatever is holding you to the old. And if you keep your mindset, I know all of this stuff, and you just keep going along the same patterns, it's going to be real hard for you to break out of that old. So it's time to slow down just a little bit. Look at those patterns or look at those things that you do on a habitual, I know this to be a truth basis, and just fact check it one more time. Is this still true for me? In most cases, it will be, but in some cases, you'll catch something that doesn't quite fit in your new belief system or doesn't quite fit with where you're trying to go. And that's what Spirit wants us to start identifying now So it's easier for us to let go and transition into what we want. I feel like my camera angle is very off. Okay, so having said all of that, what is our first card? I do believe this is a king. And this is King of Swords. So we start off right away with there's a lot of white in this card. Let me see, because I need you to see what's sitting behind that throne. There you can see it. Icicles and crystal shards, perhaps. King of Swords. So we start off right away with a card that represents mastery, divine masculine mastery. Swords would be mastery over our logic thinking mind, also mastery of voice communication. Are you someone who logically thinks through what they should be doing and then says what they mean, says it with clarity, can understand others as well as communicate what they want? That would be divine masculine King of Swords. But let's see why we got the other side. This book is not arranged how I'm used to it being arranged, so I'm having trouble finding the king. I think they put them. Good Lord, this should not be this difficult. Court cards. Oh, okay. They separate them. They don't put the swords with the. I got it, y'all. I figured out this book. Okay. King of Swords. So for this is not, this is the queen. It is the queen. Queen of Swords, my bad. So for this particular card, this is outer self is the correct side. Y'all see how I thought it was just a masculine with long hair, but now that I see it up close, it does look like a queen. Because she was wearing full armor, it's what threw me off. They don't normally portray the queens in full armor. So that's what threw me off. But in any case, interesting that this deck does. So that would be the front and this would be the back. We're looking at the back, and what this book calls it is outer self and inner self. We're looking at the inner self. So right off the top, we already started out with that channeled message of spirit saying, I need you to look within and recheck yourself. Behind the throne, we see the essence of the queen's inner strength. The great crystals clarify, illuminate, and affirm her spiritual connection as well as her intelligence and will. It is not enough for her to conquer. She also wants to understand. The crystals are the symbol of her ethical center. They are also the keepers of her memories. She will hold a grudge until amends are made, but she will remember a favor forever and pay that debt when the time comes. So the thing that I picked up from this card is the idea of, let me go back. I really liked it, how the book said it, so I don't want to misquote it. The great crystals clarify, illuminate, and inform her spiritual connection. So I like that her strength, because they show what is behind the throne is where her strength comes from. And her strength is coming from that ability for her to clarify those things, illuminate, and affirm. So look into your spiritual beliefs, your spirituality, clarify, yes, this is absolutely what I believe, or I'm unsure if this is what I believe. Line up with that, line up with those things. So right from the queen, we go to a king, and this time I'm sure it's a king because he has a beard. So this king is the king of, no, it's not. It's card number 4. It's an emperor. And again, we can have that side, the other side of this card. On the cards where the character is sitting on any type of a throne, when they show the backside, I like to interpret it as whatever sits behind the throne is what they draw their power from. So here we see some alchemical symbols, that big old sun, some moon phases. Let's go to the book and see what the other side of the emperor is. And I am going to the book on all of these because obviously this is a different take on the cards. It's not the traditional meaning facing up. It's the other side of the card. So that's why I'm going to the book on these first 3 cards. That side, the emperor looks out upon the vista of his empire. Fair skies betoken good fortune, and high cliffs shelter the valley below. From his vantage point, the emperor keeps vigilant watch over all of those in his care. He draws his power from the sources symbolized on his throne, the renewing energy of the sun, the alchemical soul force of sulfur, that's that block, and the embracing moons of the feminine power embodied by his empress. When you get this card, you bear responsibilities as well, and you can justifiably be proud of what you have accomplished. But the strictness with which you go about your duties is taking a toll on you. We just came out of Virgo season a month or so ago. I think it's talking to y'all Virgos. The strictness with which you go about your duties. Are you stuck in a regiment that allows no room for pleasure, no room for joy, no room for mistakes, no room for the happenstances of life? When something throws off your schedule, does it throw off your whole day? Are you so strict about how things need to be that you're choking the joy and the life out of your life? Because most of us never intended to do that with schedules and checklists. We intended to free ourselves up so that we can do the things that we enjoy. We intended to have things organized so that we don't throw ourselves into a state of chaos every time we wake up. But somewhere along the way, we got a little bit too much into that energy, and the strictness with which we complete our daily duties is taking a toll on us. I am not a Virgo sun sign, but I am Virgo rising. So I have very strong Virgo energies within me. So I'm talking about myself when I talk about you Virgos, us Virgos. So what does it say? Not everything has to be set in stone. Leave some room for growth and change. If you are afraid to face the darker parts of yourself, you won't be able to help others with their own darkness. And let me tell you, if you are trying to help anybody in today's day and age, they have darkness. I guarantee it. It's almost inherent based upon what's going on our planet right now. So if you're trying to be that source of light, if you're trying to help others around you, and at the same time, you're refusing to face your own darkness, your own shadow work, your own inner, deeper, dark sources of why I do these things the way I do these things, if you're refusing to look into that and understand that, how are you going to help others? How are you truly going to help others? You can help others on the surface, but how are you truly going to help them embody the change, call in the things they want, release the things that might be troubling them, if you're unwilling to look within yourself at those same things? So that's the emperor. The emperor does look within. We got the inner side. He does look within. He does know where he draws his power from. And when you know where you draw your power from, you also know what drains that power. You also know what drains that power. All right. The third card that we have that is also showing us the other side is, let me make sure I've got this right, another royal card. So we've got a queen, an emperor, and now we have a knight, still a member of the royal court. And it's the Knight of Wands. Look at that fire. I don't think very infrequently do I ever see a Knight of Wands or knight at all portrayed with lightning and dark skies. So I'm very intrigued by this particular portrayal. Looks like he's headed into it as well. He's headed towards that storm. I wonder if that's the lightning from the Tower card, which, if it is, that lightning would represent divine inspiration. So no wonder he's heading for it. He wants to see where that lightning strikes or see if he can get some of that divine inspiration for himself. So maybe that's what's going on. This is the upright side. It shows like a normal day, but he's headed into the darkness in front of us or in front of him. The white horse represents purity. So he is definitely on the right path, doing the right thing. Let's see what the other side of the Knight of Wands has for us. Wands. I got this figured out on the court card jar. Okay, inner self. Still outer self and inner self, and we're looking at inner self. The Knight, oh, I just got super excited. Let me hold it up again. That's not a horse. It says the Knight and Unicorn. He's on a unicorn. The Knight and Unicorn. Of course, he's the Knight of Wands. Of course, he would be on a unicorn. The Knight and Unicorn face the wild lightning with no hesitation or faltering in their progress. The torch casts a golden light to counter the hot white flash before them. They show no sign of fear or even caution. The real shadow side of this Knight is his appetite for drama. I strongly identify with the suit of wands. So for them to say that us fire signs have an appetite for drama, how dare them? Facing down the lightning will make a great tale to tell if he survives it. Let others have their small, safe lives. This is a person who needs the extra fire of excitement to truly feel alive. That's Wands energy through and through. Chasing the adrenaline, chasing the dopamine, chasing those things that make you clutch your pearls and gasp. And those fire signs are like, nope, bring me more of that. That's what I want. Oh, you won't bring it to me? I will seek it out. I will chase it. You call it dangerous? You only live once. That's that Knight of Wands energy. You know, maybe it will take me out, but if it doesn't, I'll have a great story to tell. People will sing songs in my honor if it doesn't take me out. So I'm going to do it anyway. If we are pulling this card, this is not about being uncautionary in today's world, but it is about doing those things that we have held ourselves back from previously. If something keeps coming up for you, even if it's something that doesn't seem at all related to your spirituality, maybe you've got some idea about a vacation or a project or a partnership or something you want to make, some idea that has been with you that you just can't shake, but also that you've been telling yourself, I don't have the time for that, or maybe I don't have the resources for that, or maybe I don't even know where to start with that. You know, I don't have the knowledge for that. If it's something that has come back to you more than once, for those of you challenged by math like me, that means 2 or more times. If you have had this thought, this is coming from Spirit. If you have had this thought 2 or more times, Spirit wants you to stop saying no to it and to turn and look straight on at it and to ask it what it's about. Ask it is, are you divine? Are you a message from the divine? Ask that energy, that thought. If you have to sit in meditation to go visit it again, do that. But ask it, are you from the divine? And it'll tell you pretty quickly. Your spirit guides will chime in and say, yes, yes, we've been trying to get this message to you. Thank you for slowing down and listening. But ask, get inquisitive, get curious. You keep giving me this idea, and yet I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with it. I don't have the time and I don't have the resources. So why do you keep prompting me with this idea that feels so good when I think of it? Ask, why? What's going on? I bet your guides will tell you, if you just take the first step, we'll bring all of those things to you. We just need you to say yes first. That's what I'm hearing. So charge towards that thing that maybe you had been afraid of before. Charge towards the lightning and see what sparks and what lights up in your life. Excuse me, one moment. Okay. Last card of the tarot before we move into oracle messages. 10 of Wands. And this is Wands. Yes, this is Wands. And this is the first card that has positioned itself upright in the way that I'm used to reading it. So the 10 of Wands represents 10s, again, our completion, our end of cycle. And we know one cycle ends and another cycle begins. So this doesn't mean that you're entirely done, but it means whatever that heavy load you have been carrying for the last few months came from spirit. Whatever that thought is that you've been challenged with, or maybe it's a repeating conversation that you just don't seem to be getting anywhere with. What is that thing that you have been labeling as a block, a challenge, an obstacle, as something keeps getting in my way to the things I want to actually do? Feels like a burden, feels like a heaviness upon you. Maybe it's an emotional thing. Maybe you've been feeling some really heavy energies that just have been draining your energy. What is it in your life? Can you identify what feels like this? Like something heavy on your back that you have been chosen to bear. This card is coming to us today because Spirit is saying, you're about done with this. It's a 10. It's a 10. It's an end of cycle. It's a completion card. It's if you still feel that heaviness, it's not going to feel that way by the end of this week. If you walk in alignment with what Spirit is showing you, because Spirit is trying to show you 10 more steps and you're done with this. Spirit is trying to show you, I'm giving you a 10 because I'm trying to show you that you can be done with this week if you choose. But this is what I need you to do. I need you to take 10 steps to the left because that's going to get you to where I need you to go. And then you can put down this load. Or I need you to have that conversation that you've been avoiding for 3 months now, because on the other side of that conversation, you'll be able to put down this load. Or make that phone call. Or do that thing, or say no to that thing that you keep saying yes to. What is it that Spirit is asking you to do that you can do this week that will allow you to finally put that load, that heaviness down? Because that's what we're being asked to do this week. Is complete the cycle, close it out, end it. How do we do it? We walk in alignment with where Spirit is guiding us this week. Let me see real quick if there's anything else from this particular book. I think that was the gist of what Spirit wanted us to know. But is there anything else? Oh, let me go back. There is something else Spirit wants us to know, and I'm so glad I went to the book. Oh, I feel kind of all over the place this morning, y'all. Hang with me, though. We're going to make it. This is the right side of it. This is the correct side, the upside, this side of the card, where we see that he's almost at his home so he can put down his load, which is accurate to what I was saying. We were actually looking at the other side. I did not realize that. So we were actually looking at the other side, and that says, the poor man's misery is painfully evident as he trudges on with his load of staves. Behind him is an ancient weathered statue of himself? ? How can this be? He passes it by unseeing. He never even looked up at it. It never occurs to him to look up, to see the scenery, or to see the stars. His whole existence is the path immediately before him. Some of us have gotten that way. Some of us have gotten under the burden, under the weight of our lives, of our current situation. If you said to yourself, I just got to take it one day at a time, you might be doing what he is doing. You might have your head down, focused just on what gets you through the day and missing the blessings or missing something that Spirit is trying to show you. And I get it, because sometimes for mental health reasons, that's what we have to do. We have to put our head down and focus on just what gets us through the day. I get it. But if you've been doing that for so long that, again, that has become your habit or your way of being, that is taking a toll on you. At some point, you need to say, maybe just take a mental health day off and say, for just this day, I'm going to sit and lift my head and see if there's something I missed. I can go back to head down path in front of me tomorrow. But at some point, you've got to look around. Okay, let's see. When you get this side in your reading, though the scene is realistic in other ways, it is unlikely that anyone would erect a statue to this peasant laborer. The statue symbolizes how the man sees himself, captured for all times in a subservient role. This is what happens when you refuse to share a heavy load. There's a thin line between being self-sufficient, independent, and being a martyr. Don't let a weakened identity be set in stone. A weakened identity. Don't let your shadow self, don't let the version of yourself who you might be right now, even though you have an idea of a better version of yourself, but are you letting this version that you already know is not the highest, best good? Are you letting this version be set in stone? So much set in stone that when you have the opportunity to change it, you don't even notice it because your head is down, you're set in stone. This is my path. This is what I'm doing. Challenge is my way of life. I've tried everything and I don't know how to get out of this current situation. So I'm just going to deal with this situation the best way that I can. Any of those statements sound familiar? Why do they sound familiar? Because I said them myself. That's why I know them. I'm not channeling that part, y'all. That's coming from inside. I've said that shit myself. And when we get in that mindset in any way, even just uttering or saying those phrases to ourselves, we are doing that thing where we put the blinders on, we turn our head down to the path right in front of us. And yes, that will get you through the day. And yes, you can keep moving forward, but you are so limited when you do it that way. When you do this, you don't see your helpers, you don't see your guides, you don't see your neighbor, you don't see your friend, because you're probably not even telling them what's going on. Because I've just got to get it through the day. I've just got to get through the day. So Spirit is saying, I see you. I see your burden. I see why you're saying that. I see why you put the blinders on and why you put your head down. I get it. I'm not human, but I get it. And Spirit is saying, but if you want out of that, here's what I need you to do. You do have helpers. You do have blessings. You do have opportunities. And I need you to stop long enough, take the blinders off and look around so that you can see them. And when you do that, you're going to see, oh, it was me that got me stuck in this same situation over and over again. And now I know how to fix it. I know how to fix it every once in a while, even if I'm doing what's got to be done as a human because I just can't figure out anything else. Every once in a while, maybe every 10 steps, maybe every 5 days, I've got to sit down and stop what I'm doing and ask Spirit, what am I missing? And ask Spirit, send me my helpers and call someone, put something out there that says energetically or actual, I need help with this heavy load I'm carrying. Because if you're not putting it out there, who's going to answer? Nobody, because ain't nobody getting the call. You got to make the call. You got to make the call. So many messages came through on that last one. The idea of not putting ourselves in a position that says, this is the way it has to be, because as soon as we say this is the way it has to be, guess what? Spirit says, all right, this is the way it has to be. And then your life is just one long struggle after another. Your life is never putting down that heavy load. And if that's the way you want to keep going, keep going. I don't know why you came to me, because I'm going to tell you how to get out of that. But if that's the way you want to keep going, keep doing that. So Spirit is coming here to say sometimes it's us that puts us in that rut. And Spirit is also saying, if you are in that space, this is a 10. Let me show you how to get out of that space. Let me show you. This is the week to take a pause, to ask yourself, how can I get out of this space that I said I don't want to be in? And if you can't get there, Spirit will send you helpers if you open yourself up to that. Spirit, I don't know how to get there. I sat and I listened and I meditated and I pulled some cards like that lady said. None of the answers came through. So Spirit, you're going to have to send me helpers. I recommend if you can't get there by Wednesday morning, throw your hands up on Wednesday morning and say, send me some helpers, and spend the rest of the week actively looking for your helpers to come to you. And don't tell me you can't actively look for your helpers, because sometimes your helpers come in a song lyric. Sometimes your helpers come in a Facebook post. Sometimes your helpers come in a YouTube video that says the right thing and shifts everything for you. Sometimes what I'm saying is, for you people who are really down and out, sometimes you don't even have to get off your couch for your helpers to come to you. Now, I will tell you, when your helpers show up, the first thing they're going to say is get off your ass. So be ready for that. You might be sitting on your couch listening to YouTube, and I'm pretty sure one of those first messages is, okay, now that I got you, I need you to get up and do these things. Make sure you are listening to the messages and also taking action on those messages. All right, let's see. Someone over in the chat is saying this is resonating. I'm definitely going to ask my guides for helpers. And perhaps if you want to take a moment right now and ask your guides for helpers, maybe some of the subsequent cards that we pull will be those helpers. I like the feel of that. Okay, so this is the Moonology Manifestation deck. She has more than one. Moonology Manifestation, Yasmin Boleyn. Full moon in Leo, go wild. This is not based upon what is currently up in the skies. This is just a card pull. So full moon in Leo, go wild is our message for the energy Spirit wants us to tune to this week. And just the idea of that lion roaring and the message of go wild makes me think of that Knight of Wands, which was also fire energy, which was also charging towards the lightning. That sounds kind of wild to me. So same energy. Let's see what it is from this angle. Let's see what this message is about from this angle. There are times when your best bet in manifesting and in life is to throw all your cards up in the air, so to speak, and to see how they fall. As tempting as it might be to try to control a situation, you'll be better off now if you just release and go a little wild. You'll get an answer to your question soon, so you might as well enjoy the ride. The unexpected thing is that having fun is one of the most powerful ways of manifesting your desires. So all of us that think we have to keep stepping down this road that gives us no joy, and at some point, if we just keep doing this thing for the next 20 years, we can cash all our chips in and get that joy. No, you can't get to joy if you're not on the path to joy. If your path is not joyful, you're going to get to a destination that feels exactly like the way your path feels. So if you want to get to a destination that feels like freedom, you've got to start taking steps that feel like freedom or joy or ease. Whatever your goal is, your steps and your path along the way has to feel the same way. You'll get an answer to your question as soon, so you might as well enjoy the ride. The unexpected thing is having fun is one of the most powerful ways of manifesting your desires, because all of our desires in some way or form feel fun to us. So we need to have fun in order to manifest those desires. And then the last bit seems kind of non sequitur, but it says, distance yourself from arrogant people. Probably because it's the full moon in Leo card. Distance yourself from arrogant people. Manifesting balance for this week, find a balance between having a great time and attending to the people who need you. The manifesting mindset, worrying about something or someone triggers the law of attraction as much as positive thoughts do. So focus on the positive. If you have someone in your life that you might justifiably have worries about, or maybe worries about some aspect of your life, can you think of a time when it wasn't that way? Can you focus on the positive aspects of that person or that situation? Because worrying is going to attract to you more things to worry about. All right. Just want to check and make sure the chat is going. We're going to pull a few more oracle cards. I'm not feeling this deck. Is this the deck? I'm not feeling this deck. We're going to pull a few more oracle cards, and then we will get into a few one-card pulls for select members of the audience. And then we'll wrap it up with a quick energy. A little energy spark for you. Activation to call in whatever energy spirit wants us to tap into this week. I'm already sensing some of it. It's like, can we shift and find a different way of looking at the things that we've always looked at, even if we consider those things to be true and right and just, because there seems to be something in there that we need to reevaluate. All right, so this next oracle deck is the one that I haven't pulled from in quite a while. Oop, there's the card. There's the card. And it's Star Codes Astro. This is a good deck if you are trying to understand astrology, like astrology one-on-one. You want to understand like different placements and things. This is an amazing deck for that, and that's one of the reasons why I got this. It talks about all of the zodiac signs, but it also talks about placements. Like there's a card that will tell you what a trine means, and a card that will tell you all of the houses in your birth chart, first house, 12th house, what all of those mean. What progressions mean, what I think there's one in here for retrograde. So it tells you all of the astrological signs in a fun way. So we've pulled a card from this deck to see what do we need to be aware of, what energies we need to be aware of this week. And we have 8th house, mystery. Here we go. 8th house, mystery. I think the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, is it not? Somebody tell me over in chat, because if it is, that would make sense that we're pulling it because we're in Scorpio season. All right, 8th house, mystery. I'm getting a thumbs up from Kitty. Okay, so it makes sense that we would pull this. This is Spirit saying these are the energies that are present. We're all in Scorpio season. So this is what I want you to do with those energies that will best benefit you. If your chart were a village map, the 8th house would be on the corner of the red light district. If your birth chart were a village map, the 8th house would be on the corner of the red light district, next to a mortuary and a savings and loan bank. That's a lot. The corner of red light district with the mortuary on one side and a savings and loan bank on the other side. Woo! It is a private house where we deal with things that we don't want to talk about in public. Sex, death, debt, loans, psychic phenomenon. Here we deal with other people's resources and how they are exchanged. Money, bodies. Have you ever thought of your body as a resource that you exchange, sexually or otherwise? When you go to work, you're using your body in exchange for some kind of payment, money, usually a paycheck. Your body is a resource that's being exchanged. Thoughts, another resource that's being exchanged, and work. And how we inherit goods and attitudes. This house can feel uncomfortable, but it's a place where we can transform. Here's the action. It assesses the power dynamics between you and other people around important resources like sex, money, and inheritances. Notice if a relative or a boss withholds money until you behave, or if you or a lover withholds sex until some other need is met. Just get clear in your own mind if anyone is pulling strings and trying to heal dysfunctional dynamics. Just be clear in your own mind if anyone is pulling strings, and try to heal those dysfunctional dynamics with clear and healthy boundaries. Seduce honestly. See, it didn't say we couldn't seduce. I like that part. We can seduce, just do it honestly with your morals intact. Seduce honestly. Not all strange sexual dynamics or unusual financial arrangements are a problem. If you understand your peculiarities and don't feel coerced or controlled by them, they are just part of who you are. Scorpio, the death card, the eighth house, all of these energies ask me to dive deep. When I get eighth house things, situations happening, it's asking me to dive beneath the surface. And it's usually something that, for whatever reason, we shy away from because we were told it was taboo, or we were told don't get there, don't go there. And this might not be something that collectively we would consider taboo. It might be something that somewhere in our upbringing or in our own way of looking at the world, we told ourselves, I see everyone else doing it, but that's not something we should do. What's an example for me? For me, based on my upbringing, I was told meditation was taboo. I was told meditation was not a practice that we do when I was being raised. Now, y'all know I'm all about meditation. I try to do it every day and then some. But if I had never stopped and looked at meditation and asked, what is it? And why am I being told this is taboo? And does that line up with what I know about myself and my own beliefs? If I had never stopped and looked at it that way, I would not be practicing meditation today. It would just be in my mind that, well, it's taboo, and so we don't do that. So this particular card and this energy and the Scorpio energy is asking you to perhaps look at those things that you or someone else has told you, we just don't do that, but that's not acceptable. Look at them and figure out why. Do you have legs to stand on with that belief? If you look at that belief and you say, well, no, this still makes sense to me. This is not something I just adopted. This belief actually makes sense to me, then by all means, go with it. But I'm pretty sure Spirit is asking us to look at all of these things because Spirit is saying there is something that is not lined up for you in those things that you are labeling. There is something that can actually benefit you if you would take a closer look. If you would understand your peculiarities, you would understand that this is just part of who you are, all of your desires, wants. More on what this might mean to you. Financial investors and advisors, consultants, ministers, lovers, intuitives, brain trusts, auctioneers, investigators, all of those work with eighth house affairs. And if they work with integrity, they do so productively. All right, the eighth house calls for one last freedom: to acknowledge that death exists and to be fully alive in response. Ooh, I like that. The challenge: it can be tempting to manipulate by withholding love, power, or money, and hard to step away when someone else is jerking those same chains. The gift: face your worst fears and step through and feel that liberation. The trap of manipulation falls away when you don't bite the hook. Figure out if you are in a situation where you are feeling manipulated, because these energies are coming up right now and shining a light on it, shining a light into your life to show you ways that you might be manipulated, maybe ways that you weren't aware, like, oh, I didn't know that's what was really going on, so that you can free yourself from it, so that you can be aware of it, understand how they are manipulating you. What is the date, or what is the bait that they keep dangling that keeps having you bite, that keeps allowing you to be manipulated? If you can figure out what that is, then the next time they dangle it, you don't bite, that manipulation falls away. All right. I was going to say something else. Nope, we're going to move on. Where are we at in time? I think we're time to move through the one card pulls. I'm trying to see, I'm not going to do tarot one card pulls today. I'm going to pull from a different deck so I can give quick hits. Yes, there we go. So if you are new here, what I'm asking you to do is put over in chat, pick me if you would like me to give you a one card pull. Christine V, one card pull from Oracles of the Unicorns. And you got celebration. Celebration, there we go. Oh, look at that big full moon. That big full moon to me is a manifestation has come to fruition, and it is time for you to celebrate. Our manifestations are always coming to fruition. Our entire life is a manifestation. This moment is a manifestation. So is this one. So are all the words you're listening to. So is this one. So is this one. How many manifestations are you celebrating? Every time you hear a word, are you celebrating that? Probably not, because you'd just be out of time if you just sat around doing that much celebration. But this is saying there are some things in your life that you are just breezing right by, taking for granted and not celebrating. The more you celebrate, the more things to celebrate are manifested for you. The more you celebrate, the more things to celebrate are manifested for you. What it says in the small print is a positive outcome is assured. Sounds like you had a question, Christine. Sounds like that's the answer. A positive outcome is assured. Celebrate your success. Enjoy your achievement. A positive outcome is assured is telling me that something has not yet reached its final stage, but it's assured. And did it say, call me back in a week after you get that thing and we can talk about it? Is that what Spirit said? Nope. Spirit said, it's assured. Celebrate your success. Not sit and wait for the next week, not sit and wait until the thing shows up so you can get happy about it. Spirit said, it's done. Let's celebrate. And we in our humanness say, I don't think I want to go celebrate yet. I want to wait until it's actually here. And Spirit is like, I just told you it's here. See, Spirit works, guess what? In spirit. And Spirit sees it before we see it. And if we allow ourselves to have the confidence in what Spirit is telling us is done, we can celebrate as soon as we get that message. Tavisha, I hope I'm saying your name right. Your card is Innocence. Innocence. There we go. Another full moon, bright full moon. We're going to have one of the brightest full moons with this next full moon on the 9th. Take time to play. Nurture your inner child. Live with a childlike sense of wonder. Inner child work. Do something fun. Do something that reminds you to let go of the heaviness of being an adult. Erica. See what card is for Erica. Oh, I like it. I like this card for all of us, but Erica, this one specifically for you. It's the rainbow winged unicorn, and it is the card of abundance. Look at that rainbow in the sky, the divine's promise that everything's going to be okay. Abundance. The small print says, enjoy the bounty of life. Your supply is unlimited. Blessings are coming to you. Blessings are coming to you. Erica, that felt like an answer too. As soon as I said it, it felt like I was giving you an answer to something you may have been asking about. So if it did not feel like the answer to the question you've been asking about, Spirit is telling me right now, they want you to see, and they want you to listen again, because they're saying it is an answer, but you might have to work to apply it. Or work to understand its application. That's better. That's what they're saying. Work to understand its application. Okay, I have time for one more, and then we'll do a quick energy reset. Rosalie, Kayla. Rosalie, Kayla. Are they still here? Yes, Rosalie, Kayla. What does Rosalie, Kayla need to know from you this week? Spirit. Imagination. Imagination. And the small print says, envision a new reality. Give yourself permission to dream. Believe in unlimited possibilities. I don't know what happened there. There we go. Envision a new reality. Give yourself permission to dream. Believe in unlimited possibilities. Imagination right there. Rosalie, I don't know. When I pulled this card up, the first hit I got from the word imagination was a spiritual, I guess you would call them teacher, who uses imagination. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what the exact phrase is that they call imagination, but I do remember that they refer to it all the time throughout all of their bodies of work. And so I'm going to pass this on to you. You're going to have to look it up. Neville Goddard, probably heard of him before. There's a lot of new recordings popping up using a voice similar to his. Yes, I know it's AI generated, but based on his teachings. Neville Goddard imagination, or Google, what does Neville Goddard say about imagination? Because I feel like that's going to give you, you're going to find something that really resonates with where you are in your path right now within his teachings. And this is not like do a deep dive, buy a book, read the whole book. This is within a couple of minutes of searching, you will find the phrase or the teaching or the thing that's going to click for you. But I do feel like it's important to Google that particular thing to get additional insight on how imagination is going to apply to this current phase of your journey. All right, we've got 1 minute. We're going to do a very quick energy reset. If you would like a longer or deeper, you're very welcome, Lizelle. A longer or deeper energy reset. That is one of the specials I'm offering this month. You can go to my website, Jerome Unicorns and Coffee, and tap right in, and it'll be right there on the front page. All right, let's do a quick energy reset, recharge. Deep breath, slow exhale. The energy that we are going to be calling in is that spirit fortify us as we walk through the Scorpio season, dig a little deeper beneath the surface of our beliefs, peer a little closer, get that clarity and that understanding that we've been seeking so that we can truly understand the tethers that might be making our journey more difficult. And more so, Spirit, please give me the insight, the guidance, the support I need to not only understand the tethers and the burden that I carry and the challenges that I face, but to also give me the answers and the solution and the mental clarity that I need to move through to solve these challenges or to overcome. So please, Spirit, this week, help identify them, but also give me the tools, the resources, the support I need to move beyond them, to move into the new reality that I'm truly wishing to create. Deep breath in, let that settle into your being, into your bones, let that energy wrap around you. Slow exhale. And I hope this very, very brief energy reset serves you. Do it as many times as you need. Have an amazing week and go out there and manifest your lives, everyone. Love to you all. Hope to see you